In the first fight, we have Diyar Nurgozhay versus Uran Satybaldiev. Diyar entered this light heavyweight clash with a record of 10-1, showcasing well-rounded skill set, includes a striking accuracy of 51%, lands 3.13 significant strikes per minute. His ability to control the octagon makes him a dangerous opponent. On the other hand, Uran Satybaldiev comes in with a record of 9-1, known for his explosive power, has a 70% finish rate. He lands 2.4 significant strikes per minute. He's a bit more measured, so in this matchup, Nurgozhay will need to rely on his movement and his defensive grappling to avoid Satybaldiev's power shots. However, Satybaldiev's relentless pressure and his ability to find a knockout punch could swing the fight in his favor. The keys to victory for me, for Diyar Nurgozhay, utilize some lateral movement to evade strikes and engage in the clinch work to possibly tire out Satybaldiev. On the flip side, push the pace early and look for a knockout and just utilize that big power and that aggressive fight style. The pick for me here, I'm going with Uran Satybaldiev. His finishing ability and that 5-inch reach advantage make it difficult for him to get countered. What's up, everybody? Crossover MMA back in here for another video. Now let's get back into UFC Shanghai. In the next fight, we have Rongzhu versus Suyoung You. It's a bantamweight matchup. Rongzhu, who comes in with a record of 27-9, faces off against Suyoung You with a record of 15-3. Yao's a versatile fighter, landing 5.4 significant strikes per minute, has a 39% finish rate. He's shown adaptability in his last few fights. On the other hand, Suyoung You is a grappler that uses slow pressure, standing just outside of range. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He only lands 1.88 significant strikes per minute, but lands 4.75 takedowns per 15 minutes. The dynamic here is fascinating. Yao will likely look to use his versatility to keep you at bay, while you will look to aim to close the distance and look to counter. If you can apply pressure early, it may disrupt Yao's rhythm. The keys to victory for me here, for Rongzhu, utilize footwork to maintain the distance, use that 5-inch reach advantage to avoid being pressured up against the cage. On the flip side, for Suyoung You, apply constant pressure, land some takedowns, and initiate those scrambles. My pick for this one, I'm going to go with Suyoung You. I think Suyoung Yu's pressure style will be too much for Zhao, allowing him to secure a victory. I think he'll get those takedowns to control Yao. In the next fight, we have Yizha versus Weston Wilson. Yizha comes in with a record of 25-5, squaring off against Weston Wilson 17-9. It's happening in the featherweight division. Yizha has well-rounded striking and grappling skills. He lands 2.8 significant strikes per minute. He has a finish rate of 63%. His recent performances have shown his ability to adapt and find ways to finish fights. On the flip side, Weston Wilson has shown resiliency, toughness. He only lands 1.68 significant strikes per minute, which can be problematic against Yizha's higher volume and precision. Both men do have double-digit submission wins, so be ready for some fun grappling sequences. The key dynamic here is Yizha's ability to dictate the pace and the range. If he can pressure Wilson early and mix in his takedowns, he'll likely find success. Wilson needs to stay defensively sound and look for opportunities to counter, but he'll have to be wary of Yizha's finishing instincts. The keys to victory here for me, control the distance and the pace, mix in the striking with those takedown attempts, and just maintain that high output to overwhelm Wilson. On the flip side, Weston Wilson, focus on your defensive striking, capitalize on counter ability, opportunities, and look for takedowns when you can and mix it up and use your grappling. But ultimately, I'm going with Yizha. I think he's going to capitalize on his striking advantages and get his hand raised. In the next fight, we have Michel Pereira versus Kyle Daukaus. Michel Pereira is coming in 31-13, stepping into the octagon against gritty Kyle Daukaus at 15-4. This bout takes place at middleweight. Perrera, as we all know, he's known for his unorthodox striking and flashy techniques with that capoeira style. He lands 4.5 significant strikes per minute and has a finishing rate of 46%. His recent form shows a mix of creativity and power, and he's been a bit more measured and not gassing himself out in fight, making him even more dangerous on the feet. On the other hand, Kyle Daukaus is a solid grappler He lands 3.22 significant strikes per minute, while also landing 3.5 takedowns per 15 minutes. Perrera will look to keep the fight standing and unleash his striking arsenal, while Daukaus aims to close the distance and utilize the grappling to slow the pace of the fight down and also neutralize Perrera's striking. If Perrera can keep the fight on the feet, I think he's going to be the faster guy on the feet, and I think he could even get the finish on the feet. However, if Daukaus can implement his wrestling early, this will definitely swing the tide into his favor and give him all the momentum in this fight. Keys to victory for me here from Michel Pereira: maintain the distance with effective striking, use fades to create openings, avoid grappling exchanges at all costs. On the flip side, for Kyle Daukaus, he's going to have to close the distance quickly, utilize some takedowns to control the pace of the fight and to just really control Michel Pereira. Stay patient and look for submission opportunities when they present themselves on the ground. Ultimately, though, I think Michel Pereira has the tools to keep this fight where he excels on the feet, showcasing that striking and that finishing ability. So I think Michel Pereira gets the job done. In the next fight, we have Rongzhu versus Austin Hubbard. Rongzhu comes in with a record of 26-6. Austin Hubbard comes in with a record of 16-9. Rongzhu's a dynamic striker, landing 5.9 significant strikes per minute and a solid finishing rate of 66%. He's been on a roll lately and has showcased his ability to adapt mid-fight. On the other hand, Hubbard is a well-rounded fighter, landing 3.87 significant strikes per minute, but he only has a finish rate of 27%. In this matchup, I think Hubbard will look to impose some grappling early on. On the feet, I just think Rongzhu is going to give him some trouble. So with that, if Rongzhu can keep this fight standing, he has potential to finish the fight with his striking. However, Austin Hubbard does have a lot of experience, and I think that will play a crucial role if he can execute his game plan effectively. The keys to victory for me, for Rongzhu: keep the fight standing, utilize striking combinations, and look for openings to finish the fight on the feet. For Austin Hubbard, implement some takedown, use some ground and pound when you get Rongzhu on the ground, and just control Rongzhu and just slow the pace and the tempo of the fight way down. Avoid getting drawn into striking exchanges because I think Rongzhu will have the advantage on the feet. Ultimately, though, I'm going with Rongzhu. I think his striking ability is just going to lead him to pick Austin Hubbard apart on the feet. In the next fight, we have Loner Kavanaugh versus Charles Energy Johnson. Loner Kavanaugh is undefeated at 9-0, coming up against Charles Johnson, who holds a 17-7 record. Kavanaugh is a rising prospect. He lands 3.73 significant strikes per minute, and he has a 56% finish rate. Definitely showcasing his ability to end fights quickly, and he's very exciting on the feet. Johnson, while experienced, has faced some challenges in his last few fights. He's fought the higher level competition, in my opinion. He lands 4.74 significant strikes per minute, and he has a 42% finish rate. The clash of styles is significant here. Kavanaugh will look to assert his dominance early, while Johnson needs to find a way to utilize his experience to counter Kavanaugh's aggression. Because I do think it's in Kavanaugh's best interest to start fast, because in my opinion, I think Charles Johnson is a little bit of a slow starter. So with that being said, if Johnson can weather the storm early, he might be able to turn the tide later in the fight. Keys to victory for me, for Loner Kavanaugh, just like I said, start strong with high pressure striking, maintain that offensive output, stay aggressive, and don't allow Johnson to build momentum. On the flip side, for Charles Johnson, stay defensively sound, capitalize on Kavanaugh's overextension, especially when he gets aggressive. Look for counter-striking opportunities and use those long-range weapons, the teeps to the body, the jabs, the 1-2s. In this one, I'm going with the upset here. I'm going with Charles Johnson. I like the 3-inch reach advantage, the higher output, the competition he's been in there with. Plus, he joined the channel for the UFC 319 watch along and is a friend of the channel, so I gotta support my guy. In the next fight, we have Maheshate versus Young. Maheshate comes in with a record of 10-4, going against Young, who boasts a record of 9-3. Both fighters are known for their striking. Young lands 4.83 significant strikes per minute, and Maheshate lands 3.86 significant strikes per minute. Young has a 58% finish rate, and Maheshate counters with a 36% finish rate. This fight should be a striker's delight. We get to see two young prospects battle on the feet. Keys to victory for Maheshate: look to counter, utilize powerful strikes to the finish, avoid being pressured towards the fence. On the flip side, for Young, use some volume, don't rush or overextend, stay patient, and look for openings. Ultimately, I'm going with Young in a competitive matchup of two young fighters. In the next fight, we have Taiyilake Nueraji versus Kiefer Crosbie. Nueraji comes in with a record of 11-1. The guy lands over 11 significant strikes per minute and has a 92% finish rate. He's a diverse striker with ability to maintain the distance, and it makes him a very formidable. Kiefer Crosbie comes in with a record of 10-5. He's known for his gritty fight style and solid grappling, but he struggled in his striking defense. He does land 6.27 significant strikes per minute, but he only has a 47% finish. Raji's ability to keep the fight standing will be crucial, as Crosbie will likely look to close the distance and get inside of that 6-inch reach advantage for Nueraji. If Nueraji can use his striking to keep Crosbie at bay, he could dominate this fight. Keys to victory for me for Nueraji: maintain the distance with effective striking and avoid the grappling exchanges. On the flip side, for Kiefer Crosbie, close the distance very quickly and use that inside boxing to do damage and just make it a dirty fight. Ultimately, though, I'm going with Nueraji here. I think his output and his power will just be too much for Kiefer Crosbie. In the next fight, we have Sumudaerji versus Kevin Borjas. Sumudaerji enters with a record of 17-7. He's known for some dynamic striking and solid footwork. He lands 4.4 significant strikes per minute, but has shown some vulnerability in the grappling exchanges with a takedown defense of only 68%. Kevin Borjas, on the other hand, holds a record of 10-3. He's known for just relentless pressure and very crisp boxing. He lands 5.1 significant strikes per minute and has a 62% finish rate. This clash could see Borjas counter Sumudaerji's shots, or will have some grappling to exploit Sumudaerji's weakness. Keys to victory for me for Sumudaerji: keep Borjas at range, use that 4-inch reach advantage, use some body kicks, and look to land that big left straight. On the flip side, for Kevin Borjas, use that crisp boxing, be ready to counter, and don't be afraid to take Sumudaerji down if needed. But my pick for this, I'm going with Kevin Borjas. I think he really gets his head raised in this one. I really like how his boxing looked in his last fight against Ronaldo Rodriguez. The guy is very crisp on the feet, and I think he gets it done. In the next fight, we have Sergei Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortes Acosta. Sergei Pavlovich comes in with a record of 19-3, enters the octagon, landing 4.54 significant strikes per minute. He has a 68% finish rate. His knockout power is definitely real, and he'll also enjoy a 6-inch reach advantage. Waldo Cortes Acosta comes in at 14-1, is known for his boxing and his durability, but he'll need to be cautious with Pavlovich's power. He lands 5.98 significant strikes per minute, and he only has a 47% finish rate. Keys to victory for me here in this one: for Sergei Pavlovich, use that 6-inch reach advantage. Also mix in the occasional leg kick, because Acosta does not defend or check them at all. On the flip side, for Waldo Cortes Acosta, use some head movement to avoid those big shots from Pavlovich, get inside of that reach disadvantage, and use some of your own boxing. My pick in this one, Waldo Cortes Acosta, he's definitely got some momentum going, but I'm going with Sergei Pavlovich. I think his power and the 6-inch reach advantage are going to be too much, but I think Cortes Acosta is very dangerous in this fight right here. In the co-main event, we have Brian T. City Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling. Brian Ortega comes in with a record of 16-4. He's known for his elite grappling and submission skills, boasting a 55% finish rate. His striking has improved as he lands over 4 significant strikes per minute. Aljamain Sterling on the flip side comes in a record of 24-5. The former bantamweight champion has exceptional grappling of his own, and he lands 4.41 significant strikes per minute, and he has a 38% finish rate. Aljo's ability to control the fight on the ground will be critical against Ortega's submission game. This matchup will likely see some exciting grappling sequences, as these are some of the best grapplers in the UFC. The keys to victory for me: for Brian T. City Ortega, stay patient and look for those submission opportunities when defending against Sterling's takedown attempts, and look to do some good work on the feet as well. On the flip side, for Aljo, utilize the wrestling to control Ortega and look to get Ortega's back whenever those grappling sequences start, because it will happen for sure. My pick in this one, it's tough because I think this is a really good fight, but I'm going with Aljamain Sterling here. He's all that big fight experience. It's going to be another tough weight cut for Brian Ortega after all the talk of him going up to lightweight, and it never really materialized, so he's just staying at featherweight. And I just think that's going to be too much, but I will say Ortega's submission game is always a threat, and we'll get some really fun grappling sequences in this one. Before we get into the main event, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content. Help your boy out. In the main event, we have Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang. Johnny Walker enters with a record of 21-9. He's known for his unorthodox striking and explosive finishes, and also getting knocked out in some of the wildest ways ever. He lands 3.87 significant strikes per minute, and he has a 63% finish rate. His agility and movement make him a very dangerous striker. He'll also enjoy a 6-inch reach advantage, but he's also shown vulnerabilities in getting knocked out. Zhang Mingyang comes in with a record of 19-6. He's a well-rounded fighter with big power in his hands. He lands 10.91 significant strikes per minute, and he has a 76% finish rate. Zhang's ability to mix up his strikes and control the fight will be crucial against Walker's explosive power as well. If Zhang can avoid Walker's power strikes and get inside of that 6-inch reach disadvantage, he can hurt Walker badly, and Walker doesn't have the best chin, so it does not take much. Walker's also coming off 2 brutal KO losses, and Zhang has 9 straight KO wins in the first round. Keys to victory for me: for Johnny Walker, he's going to have to utilize his striking creativity and movement to keep Zhang at bay, along with that 6-inch reach advantage. On the flip side, for Zhang Mingyang, use forward pressure to make Walker uncomfortable and just get him on the back foot and give him no airspace. My pick in this one, I'm going with Zhang Mingyang. I think we could see another brutal cartoonish KO for Johnny Walker. Zhang's been on an absolute roll. He's got a lot of, this is really set up to be kind of a showcase for him on home soil in Shanghai, and I think he gets the job done. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Let me know your picks in the comments, questions, comments, thoughts, and your feedback. Always welcome. And as always, until next time.